The Grand Tour. The Grand Tour. It's the end of March and my rent is due, but two life options lie open to me. Break with a lover, her friendship split through, or chain myself to the civility of capitalism. A poet true, I yearn to be so young, so sure, so free. Romancing my mind with poetry's flow, so be it, with sure brave heart, let me go. I made love to my love the night before. I wrapped my guitar in a grey baggy jumper once worn on cold nights down Turf Moor. Raided the bank for all my rent money and embarked upon a third buskers tour. Her scent mulled like wine, her tongue lulled honey. How we laughed as we revelled, dear Rosie, in kisses and love songs and pure poesy. I watched the white cliffs recede to a speck and sang a fond farewell to old Blighty, when, like a wreckhead at a discotheque, a certain trunderness docks to smite me. I had to head down to the underdeck, feeling so sick I think I should whitey. As one voyage ends, another embarks at Ostend, changing pounds to francs and marks. I take the greatest train jump of my tour, from Vienna to Villach, on a sleek intercity, as each Alp towers o'er my little carriage, each volcanic peak thrust from the fertile, verdant valley floor with breathtaking beauty. I could not speak until dinner time by a mountain stream. Austria's watchers echoed to my scream. How glad am I to enter Italy, for the call of the muse grows ever strong, like some wild animal trapped inside me, to find fair form in my juvenile song. Snowy mountains shrink to a flat country, through lazy fields of green we zoomed along to Venice. As Italy greets my feet, a grand canal sparkles, but where's the street? 3 days I spend in Arda Venetian, 3 nights in a disused railway carriage, gusting around this floating museum and life's perfect barge. There is a marriage between my soul and the Elysian, a poet's dreams compulsing to the page, as here in this soft city I savour my first Italian ice cream flavour. Distant Riviera di Levante, my heart's destination, mine art's true call, but first the mausoleum of Dante, to tap into a predecessor soul, overgrown with moss and creeping ivy. My man, you were the wildest of us all. Ravenna, this may be a swift sojourn, but one day, with my wife, I shall return. How balmy is the Florentine evening, whose stylish sweetness softened Dante's tongue. Outside Shelley's old villa I'm busking, to soon attract a most beautiful throng of German Fräuleins young, and visiting this sultry city, entranced by my song, 2 of them follow me into a park for passionate encounters in the dark. We wake in arms. After cappuccinos, we wander moped streets, a sacred city through which argent-sheened Arno slowly flows. I buy a book to fill with poetry. On the title page, Maya draws a rose. Then buys fresh foods, climbs a hill where we build a fire, cook dinner, watch the sunshine fade over Florence with a sweet red wine. How romantic it is to be abroad, free from the chains of a working man's day, think I, while walking the main Pisan road, passing a troop of buskers on the way. With guitar, ink pens and notebook my load, I've arrived, and all my dreams fade away, seeing the leaning tower. Am I drunk? On further inspection, one side has sunk. Back from the tower, fate bids me to meet the buskers troop in musical mid-flow. There's an old black bluesman with dust bare feet, a dark Chilean named Capitano, and a saxman sultrifying the street. They offer me wine, adding maestro. You never heard a more raunchier noise, and just like that, I'm one of the bad boys. I settle with this best of holidays. Each one begins with pasta from a nun, then idle hours spent musing under rays of an English summer like springtime sun. When falls the warm evening, I then amaze the Pisan public with songs sweetly spun, and blitzed on 6 bottles of Tuscan red. Outside the church, we made our cardboard bed. I jump a train to San Giuliano to walk on Shelley's mountains, but instead I'll sit in the street with old man Franco, ploughs me with red risotto and bread, plus a whole sow's leg. My stomach doth blow, though we hardly understand a word said. Conversazione, war, England, life, Italy, poetry, and his dead wife. I wander up the coastline for to muse, setting up camp in a cliffside quarry, resplendent in luscious blue seaside views, by the chapel of Porto Venere. Tonight my life, mine mind, mine art shall fuse, and, awakening to my destiny, prepare for the sun to set low the line, by building fire, entering town, stealing wine. The topless bottle of red in my hand, I scamper up the cliff face with the surge might of some fabled hero from Plato's land, when, claiming the top, gulls in freedom's flight, silhouetted setting sun, a wide band of gold spread across azure seas. From this height I muse upon rippling sea meadows blue. This evening gives birth to a poet true. I pause to reflect on the life I knew. Nice house, nice job, nice girl, nice skunk, nice deal. Compare these to the skies and seas of blue, and this sense of sheer assurance I feel at joining the brave stars, we happy few. No more a cog on the soul grinding wheel. Besides, England does my fucking brain in, and I bet as I'm writing, it's raining. Dizzying to my heart's epiphany, the last sun chink was slipping low the line. Her deep shed ray spread across the darkling sea to sparkle on an object close, divine. A silver rose, so lovely and so wee, had caught my eyes. Drunk on delightful shine, I plucked my moment's floral memento, then left for camp, led by its lamplight glow. Southwards I go to Via Reggio, beside the Apennines, whose lofty height towers o'er the lines of my fine canto. Shrouded by the drowsy star-strewn night, I build a fire beside the soft sea flow, cook up a meal by fading ember light. I shed a tear for some long ago year, when Shelley's corpse was found and burnt right here. Soon I am back in bohemian swing, musing away one long mellow daydream. By the side of the Arno sometimes sing, or bask in the sun with wine and ice cream, or busk to the world as a poet king. Then party hard with Capitano's team, for life is forever tender to me, having tasted the breath of Italy. In the warm morning, after a party, I sit with Capitano round a fire. He teaches me the bird songs of Chile, and how to busk a day without a lyre. Brimming with wisdom, into the city I drift, when in a shock of love desire, she sat on the grass, banging wee bongos, to describe the way I feel. The song goes. She seems to me the first fair star of Eve, with ocean eyes and smile of teeth pearl white, and perfect curves like you wouldn't believe. My heart melteth at the sensual sight of beauty's first essence. This I receive in raptures as we by the Arno's flight converge as one till comes the sad sundown. Meet me in Rome. We kiss, she leaves town. Heading down south on the click-clack train track, at 2 a.m. the conductor finds me with a bag of books, the rags on my back, and in my hands a copy of Shelley. Expecting some Hampshire inspector's flack, the guy instead showers me with pity. 6 hours later, the twilight before dawn, I walk the streets of Rome awaiting one. I jump a tram, this sunniest of days, down into the tourist-laden city. Upon the Spanish steps I pause and laze, then walk into a shrine of poetry. It is true the true poet seldom pays. Reciting a passage from my Shelley, I get in for free, see hand at first hand. For this and this only, I'll make my stand. I sharpen my features and dress to impress, enter by candlelit like the theatre, where dark Grecian dramas in deep progress. Aha, there's my marvellous Manuela, my sexy smiling stage strutting actress. I knew right then I had to have her. You look beautiful, like a silver rose. That night, her hotel floor, our teeth-torn clothes. With my lady sleeping, through the city I roam, dawning sun illumines the streets, a peaceful Protestant cemetery, and Shelley's tower, where my muse completes her visitation. Left me tired, empty, but wait! As I stood by the grave of Keats, I surged with strength to try the train jump home, and did one from the glory that was Rome. I passed through Pisa, glanced at the Arno, chancing trains to an uncertain future. Then once again viewed Via Reggio, the Spezia, as beyond Genoa, sunset spent in the streets of Torino. There skipped on a train to the French border, but travelling don't always go to plan. I'd fucked up and upended in Milan. I was now several hundred miles off course, and how it happened did not understand, but youth is driven by a hidden force which made me jump a train to Switzerland, and whose harsh border found I smart resource, for they had me rejected out of hand. I looked like a tramp. After midnight tense, I found a wee rabbit hole in the fence. That's 3 stanzas. I felt like I'd escaped Colditz Castle, but as I passed through Chocolate as Eureka, I was tossed into a world of hassle. The Swiss care not for buskers on their reek. After lots of shouting and a wrestle, I was plunged in a police cell for my cheek. But come sundown, everything was sorted. The next day, I was to be deported. They marched me on a fancy Swiss air jet, handcuffed until the very last moment. For I had slipped right through their border net, back to my native island must be sent. On fine French wine, my flight was free from fret. For thanks to their filthy rich government, I carried massive bundles of Swiss francs, the dowry of their Nazi-loving banks. I thrilled so much to drop down to Heathrow, though from the wine a little worse for wear. To Rosie's boudoir, hopefully I'll go. At first she gives me such a startled stare, but soon romancing reconvenes its flow, and fed her verses on a velvet air. Said she, "Why don't we take a bath, my sweet?" With that hot wash, this grand tour was complete. 1998 that poem was written.